and perimeter of rectangles, triangles, and parallelograms today. Solving for unknown measures as well. So start us off with that second page. Area of a rectangle. Anybody know what the area of a rectangle is? Yeah, length times width. In this case, we like base and height. Base times height. All you're doing is taking your base times your height. Okay. There's this really cool thing that we could have done. You see how this is a triangle here? If I cut that out and pasted it, guess what? It fits real pretty right here. Isn't that wild?
You know what? You're right.
I am right.
That's crazy.
So here's the crazy thing. Area of a parallelogram is the exact same as a rectangle because it makes a rectangle if you move it. So to find the area of a parallelogram, it's just base times height. Super important though. I feel like it's a lot more obvious in a rectangle. Your height has to make a 90-degree angle with your base. Okay? So this, if you're ever given this, that is not your height. Your height has to make a right angle. This is your height. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Area of a triangle is half of a rectangle. So half base height. Again, your height has to make a right angle with your base. Here's my base. Here's my height. But I only have half of that area. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, what's up?
Or the area of the triangle is half the whole.
Well, you take your base height and then half it. So, if it was half base, half height, that'd be a fourth. So, when you put in your calculator, you're just going to do 0.5 once. Okay? Or divide by 2 once, whatever. Alright. So, here I have a parallelogram. Parallelogram formula is base times height. Which one's my height? The 12. And how do I know it's the 12? Because the right angle. You notice how this is outside? That's okay. It's whatever has the right angle. So if 12 is my height, which one's my base? The 3.5 or the 13? 3.5. What's this side? 3.5, yeah. So if you don't like that the right angle is down here and not up there, this is my base, this is my height. So my area formula is base times height. Literally 3.5 times 12. Base 3.5, height 12.
42.
There we go, 42. Super important in this chapter is our labeling. To label area, you take whatever unit you're given. In this case, we got millimeters. What do I gotta put? It's area. Square. There we go. So here's how I think about this. If it's one-dimensional, like a length, it's just whatever the unit is. Area is that unit squared. Then we get to volume later on in the year. We're going to cube that. But for now, in area, everything is squared. All right, we got another parallelogram. What's my base? 10. Because this is also 10 and it touches my right angle. What's my height? 4. So base times height. 10 times 4, 40 what? Meters squared. Alright, we got our triangles. Triangle area is half base height. What is my base? Here's the deal. If you want to do this twice, there are 2 triangles. You can do that. I like to save time. 1 base. What's my height?
7.
7. How do I know this is my height? Because it makes 90 degrees. So my area formula for triangle is half base height. You said my base is 16 and my height is 7. So
16 times that, and then you've got to divide. Yeah. So 2 ways to do it. One of them you can just put 0.5 times 16 times 7 in. Other way you can take 16 times 7 divide by 2. Either way works. 56. What's my label? Inches squared.
Wow, this stuff is easy. Let's not start putting X's in there.
What's my formula going to be for my next one? Base height or half base height? Half base height, 'cause we got a triangle. What's my base? 11. What's my height? 2.5. Because it makes the right angle. So half of 11 times 2.5. 13.75 label. Beautiful. We're gonna pause real quick on this one. Here's something that may happen on like a homework, quiz test, something. I may label this as like 1 in this imaginary dotted triangle. That does, if anything's dotted, like with a base, don't add it together, okay? Your base is whatever the solid line is, okay? So like if I gave you this, don't make your base 12. Your base is just whatever the solid line is. So there's a difference between like this dash line for my height that's outside and like adding these together, right? Because this was like a solid line and this one is solid and dashed. So don't fall into that trap, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Alright. Here's where we get just a smidge more complicated. And here's how I think about it. A base and a height have to make a right angle. So as long as you pick 2 sides that make a right angle together, you will be fine. So somebody give me a number that's up there. 15. If I follow this 15, it makes a right angle with what? H. Okay, I know that area of a parallelogram is base times height, right? In this case, what's my base? 15. What's my height? H. So I have 15 times H. Okay. If I flip that parallelogram on its side, what's another base and height? Go. Yeah. This is another, if you look at it sideways or whatever, this is another base and another height. Well, doesn't that still give me area? Base times height, no matter which way I look at it. So another base times height is 7.5 times 12. 7.5 is my base, 12 is my height. Well, punch 7.5 times 12 in your calculator. 90. So that 90 has to equal 15 times H. So how can I solve for H? Divide by 15. What do I get? 6. And then labeled, this is now, this H is one dimensional, it's not area. So we're just going to go with yards, not yards squared. Because if I take 6 times 15, I still get that 90 that the other one gave me. Okay. I think easiest thing to do is find the right angle where you have 2 numbers. So in this next one, which 2 numbers make a right angle? 4 and 9. Okay, so area is base times height. I have 4 times 9, which is 36. Well, that also has to equal, if I flipped it on its side, what times what? Yeah, this 16 is my new base. This H is my new height. SL for H. Divided by 16, and how many meters do we get? What'd you say? Oh, sorry, I thought there was something.
2.25.
2.25 meters. Questions so far? Give me a base, give me a height. Preferably ones that make right angles. 14 and H is a base and height. So what else has to be a base and height together?
The 5 and 9 by 8.
Yeah,
Oh,
because we know parallelograms, if this is 5, this is 5, right? So this 5 and this 9.8 go together. Okay, so to find the area, what am I going to do? Base times height, so 5 times 9.8. How much does that give me? $49. And that has to equal my other base times my height. And what numbers, letters are those? 14H. So you're just matching up two pairs of bases and heights. What does that leave for H?
3.5.
3.5. How would I label this? Miles, yeah, MI. Not miles squared, but just miles. Questions on that type of problem? No? Okay, I have a triangle with area 16 feet squared and a height of 4 feet. I need to find its base. What is my triangle formula? Yeah, so my area is half times base times height. What letters can I plug into that I know numbers for? H. We know my H is what? 4. What else do I know? My area, so it's going in for what letter? A. I know that's 16. A half is just a half, right? I'll need to plug in there. And I'm finding base, which is B, so that's good. Questions so far? Okay, let's simplify this side first. What is half of 4? 2. So what I have is 16 equals 2 times my base. Which leaves what for my base? Yeah, divided by 2. So what? 16 divided by 2, how much? 8. And then when I label, would I label my base as feet squared or just feet? Just feet, because it's like a side. Questions there? Alright, last one. I need to find the combined area of the figure below. What two shapes do I have going on? Yeah, triangle and a rectangle. Let's do the rectangle first. What is the base and height of my rectangle? 5 and 12. So area of a rectangle is base times height. So I got 5 times 12. So 60 is my rectangle. Okay. My triangle doesn't really have a whole lot labeled. What's something I know? Like, do I know a base or a height? Like, what's the easiest? A base, that dash line, my base is how big? 5. Well, I must be able to find the height. How do I
So
find
then
it? How do you get 4?
16 minus 12.
This 16 minus 12, my height is 4. Area of a triangle, half base height. We said base was which one? 5, height is
10 plus 16.
so total area 70 what?
Centimeters squared.
Centimeters squared. Beautiful. Alright. Questions?